All right, guys, welcome back to today's video. Today, we're going to be going over my 2.3K loss in the stock market today. And I am not happy about this day whatsoever. And I think it's very important as a trader and as an educator to go over my losses and show you guys that this type of stuff actually happens. And it's all a part of the process. Now, this isn't a devastating loss. You know, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I am going to lose sleep over how I traded and how emotional I became when I started to lose. And my reaction to me losing today was a very, very bad reaction, meaning I revenge traded, I sized up, and I pretty much broke every single rule that I set for myself. So without further ado, let's go in and let's analyze these trades and see how we could have done better. The first play of the day today was a 40% play on SPX. You guys could see I pretty much bought the break of the previous pre-market high, and as the market continued higher, we sold 10 points higher for around 40%. When I hopped into this play, I bought in at $3.50. My stop loss, or not $3.50, I bought in at $2.85. My stop loss was $2. And that's why I was kind of confused there. My stop loss was $2. And I was aiming to sell around $5 a contract. So if I go and input those here, $2 and $5 here, you could see I was aiming to make around a 2.5 R trade. I had around a 1.27 R realized R multiple, meaning I got too finicky, started to panic in the trade, and I sold earlier than I anticipated. So the setup here was a morning breakout. The mistakes I had. So the mistake I had was that it was not in my plan. My plan was to actually hold this for $5 on the contract, which would have been around, $39.40, which I was aiming for. And you'll see here on the contracts where I bought and sold, these contracts actually ended up going to $8. My $5 price target was hit right around 10:35, a few minutes after I sold, like 20 minutes after, and that would have been around that 39.40 area. So me not following my plan ended up in me missing out on a potential 100% runner. And obviously it went to $8 after. And I only secured around $220, 40%. Not the end of the world, but definitely should have followed my plan. And I need to remember that for next time. So I'm going to rate this a 2 just because it was profit, but it's not getting a 3 because I didn't follow my targets. And also at the same time, I was emotional during the trade, and I let the green number dictate if I was going to sell or not. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to write out some notes. The trade was not in my plan. I was not following my price targets. So the notes that I wrote down for this trade was that it wasn't in my plan. I wasn't following my price target that I set out prior to actually entering the trade. I let the noise between the stop loss and my target mess me up. And I let my P&L control the trade. Now, that's the main one I want to highlight here, is I let my P&L control the trade. I let that green number, that green percentage, that green dollar amount, I let it control whether I was going to hold the trade or sell it or follow my plan, and eventually ended up selling it, costing me, a couple $100 more. And even worse, it's and if I didn't notice this now, this would have planted a seed into my trading to where I would always let my P&L control my trade. So this is the important part of journaling, is you get to go back and you get to see what mistakes you made so you can prevent them going forward. The next trade we took was this Apple call. Apple here really wasn't too great of a trade. We did end up securing profits at around 133. So my price target on these contracts, I bought these at around, I'd say $2. Yep, exactly at $2, and I sold them at $2.35. I was aiming for 2.5 on these contracts, and I had a stop loss of 1.85. So my price target was 2.5, I had a 1.85 stop loss. And so we planned out a 3.33 R trade, ended up realizing 2.26. What's another thing that happened today with this trade? I didn't follow my plan. And you'll see that once you make a mistake, it carries over into the rest of your trading. And that's what ended up happening to me here today, is I made one mistake off the first trade and I let that go through all my trades today. And this was a red to green trade today. We had initially a huge green candle turn red, and that red candle eventually flipped green on the higher time frames, pushing through a level I had. That was the trade I took. Mistakes was that it wasn't in my plan. I did not follow my plan. This trade gets a 1 star, a 1 star review, because I don't even want to give the satisfaction of it calling a green play. I only secured around 17%, which is great, but at the same time, I didn't follow my plan. So it gets a 1 star because I let my previous mistake carry over to my other trade. So main thing here is I didn't follow my plan, but since this trade was open with SPX and I saw that SPX was up a lot, I started selling SPX. Let those emotions from that trade funnel into this trade, and since I was selling SPX, I felt the need to sell Apple as well. Rookie mistake, very dumb mistake. I would have went to my price target as well, if I do believe. Yep, right at my price target, it would have hit and we would have gotten filled as well. Just an overall rookie day, a rookie mistake. And I have to journal, and I know I made these mistakes, but putting them on the journal and noting them down and coming back to them for future reference to see how I actually made the mistake and learned from it and came back from it, you guys are going to be able to see that, hey, it's very beneficial to journal your trades. That's why I preach it so much, whether it's in your notebook, wherever it is. Next trade was a Tesla put. I stopped out for 10%. That was according to my plan. HD calls, I also followed my plan there. And then this is where it started to go wrong. All right, so this is mainly where my trading started to go for the worst, is when I hit this 34% on SPX. And pretty much what this did was it pretty much outweighed my L that I had on my HD. So this setup here, number one, there was no setup. There was no setup. This trade wasn't in my plan. It was complete. I chased it. It was complete FOMO, and it was me over trading. I should have just called it a day, but I ended up not doing that at all. So this right here, you see it was a red to green. I added 2, I averaged down, and then I sold them. So this trade was an overall terrible trade. No plan, no entry, no profit, no stop loss. Pretty much everything I say not to do, I let myself do here. And if you want to see right here, these contracts won 1,000%. And that's no excuse for me even hopping into the trade. This deserves half of a star. I'd give it a 0 stars if I could. This gets a half a star. And you'll see how mistakes carry momentum. After I made that mistake of over trading, I do the same thing on this trade as well. There was no setup here. No setup. Mistakes. Same ones as before. I chased. I didn't cut losses quickly. I had FOMO. It wasn't in my plan. I over traded. I revenge traded. I was bored. And I was right on the day. I checked off every single mistake I could have made on this trade. Took a 70% hit. And it ended up working out. You see, I sold, quite literally got stopped out at the top. Literally at the exact top. Half a star because I can't give it a 0. These contracts ended up going from $1, $2, all the way to $8, over 1,000% from where I sold. And then you guys will see those trades carried on, and I started to size up when I was red. You see, I sold here and I rebought over here. I chased calls here, and then I bought puts here, and then I sold them here, literally 1 candle before the dump. And I'm not going to sit here and say I knew the dump was coming. I didn't. These were all revenge trades. These were trades that should have been taken at all. I chased. I had FOMO, over traded, revenge traded. I was bored. There was no volume at the time, and I was red on the day, and it wasn't in my plan. Super, super embarrassing for me to even show this, but, that's one of the transparent things about a trader is we make mistakes, and you have to learn from them. You have to go back, journal them, so next time you don't make them. So if anything, if you guys made it this far in the video, number 1, subscribe. Number 2, comment if you guys have ever had this happen to you, where you traded, you had a decent day, you went red, and then you revenge traded into a worse day. It's super embarrassing, but, it's trading. It's how traders are made. You have to learn from these experiences where you have these red days, where you have these revenge trading days, and eventually, if you don't stop yourself early on, and if you don't, go back and journal, end up blowing your account later down the road. Now, this isn't one of the worst trades I've ever taken because it's a big loss. I've taken bigger losses. The main reason is just because of how immature this trade was, and I think that's the correct word for it, because this trade was me pretty much not accepting that I messed up on the day and I should call it a day. Instead, it was me flipping bias very quickly, taking a revenge trade and entering the trade and going heavy into it, which ended up costing me, 2.3K on the day. And this was really the nail in the coffin. If I go into my Zella insights here, overconfidence, I increased my position size after several consecutive wins and lost a lot, and I wasn't maximizing my profits. I was up 581, but I closed at 2.3K. Not a good day, and I'm not happy about it at all. Profit factor of 0.2, very terrible. And then win rate, 37%. But that's me breaking down my day. I'm still going to go back and, study my notes and then, make mental notes of them and write them down and go back onto the charts and look at the setups. But overall, I just wanted to show you guys that traders make mistakes. Even your favorite gurus, even your favorite educators, we all make mistakes. It just comes down to if you're able to fix them and come back from them later on. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.